Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping straight into a really fascinating intersection today. We're looking at astrology, psychology, and sleep science. Specifically, this is for those of you who just cannot seem to turn your brains off. We're going to explore a very specific astrological placement, Saturn in the sixth house. But honestly, even if you don't follow astrology, the psychological reality of what we're about to unpack is going to resonate incredibly deeply with anyone who carries heavy responsibilities and just struggles to find a little peace at the end of the day. So let's get into it. You know the exact feeling we're talking about, right? Your muscles are aching, your energy reserves are totally shot, and your body is practically begging for sleep. But your mind? Oh no. Your mind completely refuses to leave work behind. It's like your brain completely missed the memo that the workday is actually over. It's a visceral, endlessly frustrating experience. So let's figure out why this happens, and more importantly, how we can fix it. Moving right along to Section 1, the weight of responsibility. To really understand the root of this intense internal drive, we first need to define what the sixth house is. In astrology, this specific area rules our daily duties, our habits, our service to others, and our physical health. But here's the crucial detail. It also governs the daily functioning of our nervous system. And that right there is a huge clue as to why this placement affects our physical bodies so profoundly. Now, when you take that sixth house and you add Saturn to the mix, things get really interesting. Saturn is basically the planet of structure, duty, and just immense endurance. So when Saturn sets up shop in the house of daily routines and the nervous system, life tends to teach its biggest lessons through responsibility. It creates individuals who are incredibly dependable, who naturally develop a rock-solid work ethic, and who tend to carry their burdens really, really quietly. And here is the catch. While this combination creates absolute superstars during the day, these are the people who crush difficult goals and stay committed when everyone else just gives up. It also installs this relentless, heavy sense of internal responsibility. Somewhere along the line, your subconscious wires itself to believe a dangerous equation, that productivity equals worth. And that deeply ingrained belief, it rarely disappears, even when the day's work is technically done. Which brings us to Section 2, the nighttime trap. It's wild how the exact same dedication that makes you an absolute powerhouse during the day becomes a complete mental trap at night. Think about it. During the day, your reliability and productivity are literally your superpowers. But at night, because you associate resting with being unproductive, the very act of relaxing can actually trigger a profound sense of guilt. Your mind gets restless, it gets anxious, and it starts desperately looking for the next problem to solve. Instead of just letting go and allowing your body to recover, your mind enters what we call the nighttime mental loop. You're lying there in bed, staring at the ceiling, evaluating every bit of unfinished work. You're anticipating future problems, fearing mistakes that haven't even happened yet, replaying conversations from 3 days ago, and meticulously reviewing your schedules. Your brain is essentially working overtime, preparing for tomorrow before today has even fully ended. It gets so intense that even your dreams might be filled with work obligations. Your subconscious basically never clocks out. Let's transition over to Section 3, Sleep Science Meets Saturn. This is where it gets absolutely fascinating because the astrology literally maps right onto hard science, that internal Saturnian sense of constant responsibility. Physically, that translates into chronic stress that keeps your nervous system fired up long after you've stopped moving. Because your mind is obsessively evaluating unfinished work, your brain literally perceives a threat and pumps out alertness signals. Your stress hormones remain completely elevated, which physically blocks you from slipping into that crucial deep sleep you so desperately need. And let's be real, modern life just pours gasoline on this fire. We carry our offices in our pockets now, smartphones keep work accessible 24/7, and constant notifications create this endless stream of interruptions. Because the line between professional duty and personal recovery is completely blurred, your nervous system gets absolutely zero signals that the workday is actually over. And since Saturn's default mode is to accept responsibility, it becomes overwhelmingly difficult to just say no and disconnect. Okay, so how do we fix it? Let's get into Section 4, a blueprint for rest. The good news is, you absolutely do not need to ditch your natural discipline to fix this. You just have to redirect it. Remember, Saturn actually craves consistency and routine, and the sixth house is all about habits. By creating a highly predictable, structured evening schedule, you are actively teaching your nervous system that it is finally safe to power down. You're giving it permission to relax. So here is your practical blueprint. Step 1. Systematically reduce your screen time. You've got to stop those late-night emails from spiking your stress hormones right before bed. Step 2. Draw a hard boundary and ban work discussions before sleep. Just cut it off. Step 3, replace that anxious mental loop with calming physical activities. We're talking breathing exercises, light stretching, maybe a little journaling. If you apply your natural discipline to practicing these steps every single night, you will satisfy Saturn's need for routine while successfully shifting your brain out of productivity mode and into restorative mode. Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, the true meaning of discipline. If you remember literally nothing else from this explainer, please let it be this. Rest is not laziness. Sleep is not wasted time. It is definitely not an interruption to your productivity. Actually, we have to flip the script and realize that recovery is highly productive. It restores your emotional balance, your physical energy, and your mental clarity. It is the fundamental, non-negotiable requirement that makes your high-level work sustainable in the long run. But getting there, well, that requires a bit of emotional honesty. We have to look inward and recognize that this endless late-night planning isn't even really about the work itself. Often, it's just a mask for deeper fears. Fears about failure, control, or self-worth. Your mind just keeps spinning because it falsely believes that constant effort will magically prevent uncertainty. But true peace, that only arrives when you let that tight grip of control soften. You have to accept that not every single problem requires solving before bedtime. In fact, some answers will actually become way clearer after you've had some genuine rest. I want to leave you with a powerful final thought to chew on. Having Saturn in the 6th house or just having a relentless work ethic is not a weakness. It is a mark of remarkable resilience and strength. But true strength isn't just about how much heavy responsibility you can carry. It is equally measured by having the wisdom, the boundaries, and the true discipline to know exactly when to set that weight down. Your body deserves recovery, and your mind absolutely deserves silence. So as you head into tonight, ask yourself, are you disciplined enough to actually let yourself rest?